So this is my week 9 submission on the create phase of the design process. So just hit and create, and it's to solve the problem that I am dealing with. So just before I started in based on my own project, I just kind of looked at design fixation, so getting stuck on the first idea. So this is something that I definitely struggled with all throughout my school and career. So when I was in, I suppose the main things to think of were junior cert and leaving cert. Kind of when I got a project into my head, I was just thinking, oh, that's good enough. I'll go with that. And I suppose it was only the fact of my teachers pushing me and actually giving me a few ideas on how to change design. I wouldn't have made any changes and wouldn't have got as much out of it, wouldn't have got as much learning out of it, and like the idea would have just been very basic. So then there's just obviously just have to try and avoid design fixation. That's kind of the key thing. So just on the bottom, your first idea is not always the right solution. That's I suppose how my thinking was, and even when I was out in placement, I kind of noticed that if I did give them a design task, they'd come up with a solution, and that'd be it. They'd be happy enough with it. There was no further input. So looking at developed ideas, then this was the first kind of thing I did. So this was an initial sketch I did of my project, and what we did then was peer feedback. So we used the Dieter 10 principles of good design, and this is the feedback that I got. So this is the completed critical feedback sheet. So one thing with this activity that we did is, I suppose, just the person I was with was kind of very nice. So obviously high scores there, and I know myself that they were lower than that. So I would have preferred actually just to get the honest answer out of them because it would have just helped us more when dealing with the problems then. And although he did give me a few good ideas, it was just still kind of very nice. Whereas I actually wanted the critical feedback. So having completed that then I just kind of adapted my design a bit. So yeah, just got a few ideas out of it, but like that I would have liked the feedback to be a bit more critical. Then having completed that, we just went about a couple of different ways on how to realise the idea. So I suppose the main thing I was looking at was how would I attach the rotating slots to the threaded bar, and that's where it kind of came up. You could do a laid piece with a bit of an attachment, or fit a nut into the slot so that it would be allowed to rotate around. And then I was looking at the creative craft as the CNC machine. So there was a couple of different places in the project that I had identified that the CNC could be used, and it's something that I kind of wanted to further my knowledge in as well. So then the material options that I had, so I had sourced threaded bar, 6 panel pine door. I had sourced an MDF door as well, but I suppose I didn't really see it as suitable to use, and the fact that it's carcinogenic and stuff like that, I kind of scrapped it straight away. I had galvanized steel from an old table, an old workbench that was on my grandfather's farm. Perspex also sourced from the farm, and just old fabrics at home, t-shirts, old towels, things like that. So they were an option as well. Then the potential processes, so just looking at how to attach the threaded bar to the base, the different types of bases. Would I just use the CNC machine, take out slots? I was kind of leaning more towards the kind of jigsaw puzzle to attach pieces onto the base. Then the rotating slots, how would I make it and how would I go about attaching it? So I kind of focused in here on the taking out a slot for the nut on the bottom of it, on the bottom of the timber slot, and then just allowing the nut to rotate around like that. And just for the top of the threaded bar then, to make it look like a finish, what could I attach onto the top of it just to make it seem like a proper nice finish. So then here just went through the sizes of the material required. So the upcycled material, like I said before, the door, the threaded bar, and the steel plate. So they're the sizes that I had, and I just went through all the components then and how I would, and how I did prepare them. So just the component for the base pieces, the threaded bar, the slats, the steel plate, and the joint of the jigsaw piece that I wanted to use. So they were kind of my initial sizes that I gave that I would use. And I have completed it now at this stage, and I've stuck to all them. I'm pretty sure I've stuck to all them sizes. So this was just, I suppose, my thinking process around making decisions. So when I looked at the base, so over here we can see the circle drawn around the base here. This is the initial design I had. So then the use of divergent thinking, that's creating choices. So I had either the jigsaw base or the base with slats. And there was a few other thoughts in my head, but these were kind of the main two. So then going from the divergent to the convergent thinking, so that's actually making the decisions. So what I went with then was the jigsaw base was the most appropriate, and I kind of assisted to the problem that I was dealing with as well. So then I just came up with the jigsaw based design, and I could also incorporate slats in these pieces in the jigsaw pieces. So just kind of, it was convergent thinking, making decisions, but I kind of mixed the two of them as well at the same time. So that's just evolving my ideas using critical reflection and critical thinking. So then onto the experiment phase, just testing the rotating slats. So when I made them, I was actually testing that they were suitable, so that the use of the nut was sturdy enough, was safe enough. So first I just threw on a few items that, well, you wouldn't really put a pencil case on it, but just it was just something that might be on the desk that you might fire up on it. The iPod or iPhone is something that you definitely would, that could be held on it. So that was basically, it was very easy to hold up on it. And then I threw 2.5 kg worth of weights up on it, and it made no difference. So it was very sturdy, and it just proved that it was definitely a feasible solution to the problem that I had. Then onto the the actual making of the solution. So it is a high fidelity model that we're making, but I'm going to try and make it as close to what I would have done if we were in the labs. So I had all my material prepared already, and how I'm going to go about this, the most beneficial way of going about it is a problem based approach. So again, the problems that I've looked at so far are just attaching the threaded bar to the base. So what I did there was welded steel plate that I'd sourced onto the threaded bar. So it was just tack welding. It was very easy, just tied it up with the grinder. And they used a kind of small pillar drill that I have at home, drilled through the base, took out a slot for the steel plate, and it just slotted into position. And then I could screw the steel plate into position as well. So then the second problem, which I kind of have covered already in the experiment phase, was how would I attach the rotating slots to the threaded bar, and like I did, just took out a slot for the nut, and that allowed it to rotate around, and it was also sturdy enough and definitely safe enough. And that is my create phase to date.